Check. Welcome back to Another Dimension. I'm Quinn.
I'm Trask.
I'm Taylor.
Hey, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Catch me by surprise.
Are you wearing the same shirt as last week?
I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's I have
think I am
black.
too.
I have black and gray, and that's about it.
Nice.
You guys haven't matched in a while. At least that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Watching the old ones, there were two
Couple
or three in a
times,
row.
yeah.
Same outfit, head to toe.
Speaking of the old ones, that was a great segue.
Yeah.
For episode 49, we're going to show the first few that we released, some clips from it, and then move on to some of the newer stuff and let us know what you guys are.
So let the comments begin.
Yeah.
We're actually going to try to introduce a comment of the week going forward.
Along with the word of the day and the safety topic.
Yeah, we should have a safety topic. But
Yeah.
So I
What does that mean?
What?
The comment of
The comment of the week is going to be judged by the three of us, either on its creativity or its idiocracy.
Well put.
Okay.
Well put.
So let the comments begin. I'm sure Taylor's going to have a very special episode here.
Going to have to turn off the notifications.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Enjoy, guys.
Enjoy.
So, to me, a professional driver would be someone who takes pride in their profession, who walks the walk, talks the talk, dresses the part. I'm dressed in shorts today. I had surgery and I can't wear long pants, but I would never, in the flatbed world, I would never wear a pair of shorts and consider myself professional. Maybe in a different trucking field, yes. But if you look back here, like this guy, I don't know if you can see him, but work boots, jeans, he's got a vest on, flannel shirt, hat. I mean, that is your stereotypical old school truck driver.
Yep.
And a lot of guys.
That's when people were proud to be truck drivers.
Yeah. I remember looking up to my dad and to other drivers, like these guys are, when I was a kid, they were cool.
Yep.
They're still cool, but some of that is probably gone these days, but we try to reinforce that. We may be a little more casual with a sweatshirt, but still with our company name on it.
Yep.
I don't know if that answers the question, professional, but pride in what you do, and knowledgeable.
Yeah, I would say knowledgeable, but also willing to learn.
Absolutely.
Because just like everything, someone can do it better, and there is someone out there doing it better. But
engaged.
If you're willing to learn or provide ideas or go the extra mile, do those things, that's what a professional is. Mm-hmm. I read a book, and it doesn't relate to this, but I read a book one time, and it said something on, you'll know who your professional employees are by who's here on Saturday. And in a truck, that's not the same concept, but the guys that are here, one guy that really stands out to me, we have an owner-operator in our fleet. Everything comes in perfect, immaculate. Paperwork, numbers are in the same spot every week. Things are paper-clipped. It may take him an extra half an hour to do those things, but he does it every week.
Clean and orderly.
Clean. His truck is clean. He's clean-shaven. Always dressed to do the part.
Go grab that paper off that clipboard.
This one.
Board once, yeah. I don't know if it's got professional on it, but there's 10 things. I've got these hanging up all over the office. 10 things that require zero talent.
And these are plastered throughout our office, and they're not really our guidelines, but everyone kind of lives by them.
Again, they require zero talent. Number one, being on time. Don't be late. And being on time to you and being on time to me may be two different things. Excuse me. But don't be late.
Yep.
Work ethic, effort, body language, energy, attitude, passion, being coachable, doing extra, and being prepared. Whether those make you professional, I don't know. Maybe we're getting off topic, but I think they're important,
Yep.
and they're again, they require zero talent. All you have to just do it.
Do it. It's
You got a horror story, or you could tell a story that you and I just went through with our part of our renewal.
Well, yeah, I think, as far as that and part of your insurance renewal, really just aids to like kind of what you were saying before, and the relationship that you have with your clients and with your vendors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not to get too specific into the details, but kind of a situation where last year around this time, Quick Transport was going through some changes, going through an acquisition, and sharing that with your business partners. Kind of allows them to help you. We have the same common interests, right?
Right.
And that's the success of Quick Transport. And when Quick Transport is doing well, Bill, Johnson Insurance, Great West Casualty, we're doing well with you. So, I guess it just goes to show you need to pick the right people around you.
So in our situation, we've got multiple policies that Bill writes, and one of them, it's our umbrella. We can talk about it. It came up for renewal, and since we had the growth, we knew we were going to have an increase. There was some, Bill put it out for quote.
for the people that are listening. Should we define what an umbrella is? I mean, some people might not know what that is.
Absolutely.
That'd be good for Bill.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of confusion around that
Yep.
too. I get a lot of people that say, "Hey, I have an umbrella." Well,
Yep.
that's just a catch-all for everything.
I have one too in the back of my car.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not the case. An umbrella or an excess policy, they are two different things. But basically, they add a layer of liability coverage, or a layer over your liability coverages.
Okay.
So depending on how that's done and written, and if done properly, if you look at any of your liability, or sometimes you'll hear people say casualty lines, so that could be workers' compensation, general liability, which would include like premise, slip, trip, and fall, things of that nature. For a trucking company, it also includes when your drivers are out and about, out in the field, right? And when they're at customers' locations. And then lastly, for a motor carrier, the big one would be your business auto, right? So the FMCSA requires you have $750,000 in coverage. Everybody typically chooses to carry $1 million because the price between $750,000 and $1 million is really no different. And then some motor carriers, we urge all of them to, but some, like Quick, choose to then have additional layer on top of that to provide protection for the company and for others.
Right. And so the issue with ours was that we grew, and long story short, at the end of the day, Bill saved us about $10,000 for next year. So, and that's just on one policy. That it was huge, and I don't think we wouldn't have gotten that if we wouldn't have had this relationship, or if we would have taken our policy out to market.
And been transactional with it.
If I
Yes.
wouldn't have been on this podcast, like I would have been more nervous that, so now I'm like, okay, we really got to come through. We got to get this waived for the guys.
Right.
I don't want to
Right.
talk about the,
10 G's is your retainer or what?
Well, I think I need a little therapy here, because
A little therapy session.
I know what I'd like to do.
It's not.
9 times out of 10,
We probably would.
I would, but so we've got a customer. We've had them for years. We've done a ton of business with them.
Back from the time of handshake deals, like,
Yes.
hey, this is what we'll do.
Yeah, and we do this one. We don't do all their freight.
No.
But we do maybe
A portion of it.
Yeah, and we do. They've got this project. It's every quarter, and we've been doing it for years. But with that, it's 2 loads, and with that project, there's some prep, I guess, if you will, like
There's prep
moving
work.
it to paint or moving it to here, there for testing, whatever. And we do all that.
At a discounted rate because we got the end product.
It was what we set up.
Yep.
And
And it's what we agreed on.
right, so they asked us. A new guy came in to their
A new.
shipping person.
Yep.
And asked us to quote the project. We thought it was a little weird, but anyway, we just quoted it the same as always. And
We got the project last time.
so last time they quoted it, we got the project.
Rates were fine.
Yeah. So now this quarter, we quoted it. I thought that was weird again. Why are we re-quoting this?
Yep.
Same rates. And we didn't get it.
No.
So we asked, and the guy said it was basically a price thing.
was
So
price.
it was $800. The project is like an $8,000
It's
project.
10%.
We were 10% high. Now there's other things that go along with that. So
Not only that, but that machine that we're moving out is probably generating $1 million, million
Sure.
and a half.
sure, we can't fault them for making a profit and
Oh,
doing
absolutely.
what
They're
they
doing
think
the
is
right thing.
Yeah, but when you, I mean, we've done a lot of things for them.
Jump through a lot of hoops.
We sent a mechanic with them to look at a truck and trailer up in northern Wisconsin to inspect it, and actually drove it back with his CDL for them.
Yep.
This particular project, they've got 8x8s on there, like about $500 worth of
Lumber.
wood that we bring
Dunnage.
back for them. And so if this new carrier isn't going to bring that $500 worth of lumber back, because that wasn't in the quote,
We're really 3% off.
we're $300 high, which is 3%. And that's the frustrating part.
We feel like we were a good, for the lack of a better term, we were a good partner and they weren't.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. And it goes to show, I mean, this happens all the time. And in the world of freight, there's plenty enough freight for everyone. And you have to do what's right for you or what you think is right at the same time. But if you're going to do it, don't undercut someone to get work. Don't buy work.
Yeah. And I guess my problem with it is this has been a long-term relationship.
Yep.
And if you guys are going to blow it up over 3%,
Yep.
I guess we kind of know where we stand.
Yeah.
After
I don't
a
know, a year.
long hiatus, back by popular demand, are we able to say that?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why people watch this.
I
but
don't either.
I have people at the gas station ask me where it's been, so you can say popular
I had to
demand.
grow out this mustache, so people stopped asking me for autographs.
Yeah, when are you going to shave that?
I'm not.
Why?
Because I'm growing it out for my Halloween costume next year.
Freddie Mercury.
Tom Selleck.
Freddie Mercury.
Tom Selleck.
My bad. Freddie Mercury.
Tom Selleck. I'm going. It's Tom Selleck.
Okay.
It's going to take me that while. This has been 3 months.
Okay. And you're stubborn. You don't want to lose a bet.
Yeah.
I gotta
So,
adjust this, Taylor.
As you can see, we're back. We are excited. Our goal in 2025 is to get one of these out a week. Going to look a little bit different than what they did in the past. We're going to incorporate some safety topics, some everyday in the life trucking topics, maybe some surprise.
Whatever people
whatever people want to hear.
I think safety is one of our big initiatives for the year as
Yeah,
as a
100%.
quick transport. Safety has always been important to us. I'm probably not the safest person like in my everyday life even. I think I was in the hospital 3 times last year.
Yeah, but this is all for one hobby.
No, yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's important. I want everybody to go home safe. Go see your family. Come or go home as you came to work.
Yep.
And it kind of hit home. We've got a couple coworkers or friends, that have been injured, and it sucks. It really sucks. And if there's anything that we can do to help prevent that, we're going to try.
Yeah, it's gonna be a top-down kind of industry change or organization change, I should say, where, hey, you know what? Should we do it this way? Have we gotten away with doing things this way? Not that we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing, but there are new technologies out and new things that we can do to make sure that people are more safe. Or they are up here and they pass, everything goes well, awesome, great. But if they don't, what do we do?
Yeah, and we
Just had something like this.
were in that situation. Great person.
Yeah.
Want
Forthcoming with everything.
want them to be on our team. Went through the interview process, everything was good. Passed the drug screen. We do a pre-hire test or
Fit for duty.
physical fit for duty, yeah, and DOT, pre-work DOT, and something came up, and the candidate was upfront about it.
Yep.
But we just needed some further clarification on it to make the doctor comfortable in signing his
Well,
medical card.
our doctor brought it to us.
Correct. And if that would have been completed, it would have been fine, no questions asked. Let's move on. And it was a situation where the candidate, I'm just gonna be blunt, there was a medical issue, right? And it was something that he hadn't gotten checked out in a long time.
Right.
And he lived in Indiana.
Yep.
So we got him up here. We put him in a hotel for a couple days and did all the orientation. And then it came down to that. And we're like, well, we can't
We want to move
start
forward,
you.
but we can't until we have this release.
Yeah. And just go back to your doctor, have him sign this release, and we're good to go.
Right.
And his response was like, I can't because I don't have insurance and I can't afford to pay for it. And it was kind of heartbreaking, if I'm being honest. Like,
Sad.
like, man, we want this person to be here. That person wants to be here.
Right.
Now he's 500 miles from home. And what do we do?
Right. We did everything we could. We didn't kick him out to the curb.
Absolutely
We
not.
provided transportation to and from, where he had to get to. But still, you feel bad.
And he went through all the emotions of, hey, this doctor's ruining my life. I'm going to lose my house, to, hey, thanks for showing me some compassion and working with me on this.
Right.
But at the end of the day, he made the decision that he was going to
Look for a different job.
Look for a different job. And
that's okay.
I respect that.
It ended on a handshake and no ill will,
Yeah.
but it was just a quote-unquote shitty situation.
It sucked. But at the end of the day, I think you and Quick Transport did the right thing. Again, it's different for everybody.
Right.
But there are some things that could be recommended to try to help with
100%.
those issues, right?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into some of those.
I mean, first and foremost, you could find someone to talk to. If it's at that point.
There's been numerous.
I'll go on record. If anyone ever needs to talk, just call.
Yeah, I will as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a very touchy-feely guy, and I'm not great at that, but I can listen.
Yeah.
Right. And I always will. I've had numerous people come in my office and, hey, I just need to talk about this.
5-10 minutes, whatever.
Yep. We had a new driver, who after a couple days on the job kind of spilled his guts to me, and I couldn't help him, but I could listen and try to help him and understand, right? That meant a lot to me. Like, hey, I don't really know this person, but they are willing to share this with me,
Right.
and that's what he needed at that time,
Right.
and you have to be there for them.
Yeah. And there's no shame in sharing how you feel.
No.
Gone are the days of the macho man being cool. I'm sorry. Like, it's cool to be alive, for the lack of a better term, and cool to be healthy and okay.
Yeah.
So
some of those coping mechanisms,
Yeah.
What works for you? Find a hobby.
I have lots of them.
Do you?
I find new hobbies all the time. I'm always on the go. Yeah. I mean, find a hobby. Diet and exercise.
Which is huge, right?
Huge.
Especially truck drivers are sedentary. We were talking before. I've got a Fitbit, and
It's not working very well.
it needs to be replaced. But it's just a personal
It's what makes
challenge.
Yes.
Right. I look at my watch. How many steps did I get? And if it's 8 o'clock,
Sitting in the middle of a conversation, and you will just stand up and just start pacing. I got to get my steps in, and that's not just 1 or 2 times. That's like every day.
it's weird. I'm sorry, but it's a personal challenge. Like,
Right.
and I'm not. It works for me.
Yeah.
So hey, challenge yourself.
Right.
Take a walk around the truck stop.
There are technologies that will help with that. I mean, your phone will remind you, hey, you need to get up and walk, or your watch, or whatever that may be, or a ring. All of those things.
And eating healthy.
Yeah. Being out on the road, imagine that. Like, that's a stressor. That could technically, I got to worry about this, and now you're worrying about this when you could be worrying about something else. You know,
That's why I always, we try to say, hey, if you could take some food with you
Yeah.
that you know you want to eat,
do it.
it's cheaper and you know what you want.
But it comes down to taking the first step on that too. Like, you have to understand it. Don't take the easy way out. And I know that's
You can say it.
Yeah.
Because
like you have
that's the way you
plan.
feel. It's
Yeah.
okay to talk about your
yes.
feelings.
But you have to plan, and you have to be able to, hey, I didn't have time to get to the grocery store. Okay, well, that is a sacrifice that you made, whether that's in your control or out of your control, that now this is the situation that you're going to have to deal with.
Right.
But if you can, this is what, if that's weighing on you, do this. This would help that.
yeah.
So,
Eating at McDonald's every day is probably not the healthiest thing.
you know what, the guy in Fond du Lac?
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
Mac
yeah.
a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just eat it for every meal. Like, just cut it back to one a day now.
So
Identifying what set you off is the wrong term.
Your
But
triggers.
Identifying your triggers. Hey, if you know that if I don't get enough sleep, I start to feel this way, do whatever you can to stay on the same sleep schedule. If you know that if I don't get some exercise in the morning, I get anxious or whatever, exercise. Whatever those are, you got to be in tune to your body and know, hey, take a deep, self look at yourself and say, hey, this is what happens when I don't do this or when I do this, and make adjustments there.
Yep.
But I don't think any of these are the end all be all. They may be for some, but there are those people that do need to result in a more, I guess, in-depth approach,
Yeah.
in a sense of going to the doctor. You had a great analogy yesterday, or was it yesterday or today when we were talking about this, where there are some people, if you break your leg, you can't fix it yourself. You got to go to the doctor, and you're going to require more care after that. Let's move on. After it's out of the cast, what do? You go
you
on.
had to get it fixed first,
You had to get
right?
it fixed. Then you got to cast it. Then you recovered while it was casted. Then what did you do after the cast was off?
The rehab and
The rehab. So if you take that approach on everything, hey, you know what? Maybe there is medication that will help me. Then your follow-up, your rehab per se, could be your therapist or a friend or one of these other things. Maybe that's all you need, just that little extra bump to get you out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's not the same for everyone.
Right.
That's why it's
It's
weird.
why it's difficult.
Right.
But if you break it down like that, mental health is a disease and illness just like anything else.
Right.
Right.